Alright, listen up, family. So Claressa Shields just did something so wild, so reckless, so completely off the rails messy that even the people rooting for her are begging her to log off. Because Claressa Shields didn't drop a training update. Claressa Shields didn't drop a fight announcement. Claressa Shields didn't drop an apology. No, Claressa Shields dropped a diss track. A real one. Aimed straight at Alycia Baumgardner. And before I even walk you through the wreckage, I need you to sit with that sentence for a second. The woman who called herself the greatest of all time, the woman who begged the world to take women's boxing seriously, the woman who once told us she wanted a $50 million payday, that woman just recorded a bootleg rap song about another female boxer and posted a snippet like she was a SoundCloud rapper begging for streams. Roll the tape, because this one is going to shake the entire boxing world. Here's what happened. Right after Alycia Baumgardner sat down for an interview and said the words, "No more Claressa Shields questions," right after Alycia Baumgardner promised there would be consequences for what went down at the MVP Promotions MMA event on Netflix, right after Alycia Baumgardner made it clear she would knock Claressa Shields out if the two ever crossed inside a ring, Claressa Shields decided the appropriate professional response was to hop into a studio with Papoose's favorite producer and record. A diss track titled "Run Your Mouth." A diss track. Not a lawsuit. Not a statement from her attorneys. Not a training clip. A diss track with a Barbie doll cover art, a boxing glove emoji, and a caption reading, "You wanted a response, press play." And I promise you, once you hear what Claressa Shields is actually rapping about, you are going to understand exactly why her real fans are quietly deleting their old defense posts. Because this is not a hard-hitting diss. This is a public unraveling set to a beat. And the beat itself sounds like it was rented on a $50 lease. Look, let me give you the full picture before we dissect the bars, because context is everything with a Claressa Shields story. This all traces back to the MVP MMA 1 event in Los Angeles. Alycia Baumgardner had just signed with Jake Paul's Most Valuable Promotions in what a lot of people are calling the biggest signing in women's boxing history. And why is that signing such a big deal? Because MVP Promotions is not just a purse. MVP is the platform. MVP means Netflix documentaries. MVP means ESPN marquees. MVP means brand deals with companies that would never touch a fighter who's out here trading Instagram subliminals with a married man's mistress. MVP means the long-term wealth Claressa Shields swore she was building, the exact wealth Claressa Shields walked away from because, according to reports, Claressa Shields demanded a $3 million upfront signing bonus that Most Valuable Promotions would not match. $3 million upfront over a career-defining ecosystem. That is the trade Claressa Shields made. And every single move Claressa Shields has made since then reads like the regret of that trade playing out in slow motion, week after week, post after post, meltdown after meltdown. Alright, here's where the story truly flips. At MVP MMA 1, Claressa Shields walked up on Alycia Baumgardner in front of cameras, in front of security, in front of the Netflix crew, in front of every promoter and journalist in the building, and slapped her hand. Slapped her. At a professional VIP event. In front of Amanda Serrano. In front of Laila Ali. In front of executives whose entire job is deciding who the next face of women's boxing will be. And the reaction was instant. Most Valuable Promotions banned Claressa Shields indefinitely from all future MVP events. Alycia Baumgardner's team announced they were reviewing legal options, defamation, assault, the whole package. And instead of taking the moment to sit down, shut up, and let her lawyers speak, Claressa Shields did what Claressa Shields always does. She logged on to Instagram. She logged on to Twitter. She logged on to TikTok. She logged on to every platform she could reach. And she made her situation worse every single day. Not marginally worse. Catastrophically worse. The kind of worse that PR firms study as a warning label for future clients. Peep this, because the timeline matters. Somebody close to Claressa Shields whispered that she wanted to sign with MVP too. That leak came from Nakissa by Darian himself, who confirmed the number Claressa Shields wanted was so aggressive, so front-loaded, so entirely built around fast money, that no promoter with a long-term vision could match it. And that revelation broke something inside Claressa Shields. Because from that moment forward, every time Alycia Baumgardner got a good headline, Claressa Shields got in her feelings. Every time Alycia Baumgardner posted a training clip, Claressa Shields posted a subliminal. Every time Alycia Baumgardner got called the future of women's boxing, Claressa Shields called her something worse in the comments. This is not competition. This is a hate campaign, and the woman running it accidentally exposed her own operation. Bar by bar. Post by post. Slap by slap. Here's the one thing that can't be argued about the diss track situation. If Claressa Shields truly was the $8 million woman she claims to be, if she was the greatest of all time, if she was the untouchable GWAT, then that song would have dropped on Spotify at midnight with cinematic rollout. It would be on Apple Music. It would be on Amazon Music. It would be on Tidal. There would be visuals. There would be a press push. There would be journalists getting early listens. Instead, a snippet. A grainy, 11-second, low-budget snippet posted to Instagram like a teenager begging for a repost. The same pattern we saw when Claressa Shields tried to release her other tracks like Faithful, and had to upload them to her own YouTube channel because no real streaming platform would push them. If you search Claressa Shields on Apple Music right now, 3 songs show up. 3. That is the entire discography of a woman who called herself the biggest star in women's boxing. So when I tell you this diss record is not going to move the needle, I need you to believe me. This song is not going platinum. This song is not going gold. This song is going straight to the shadow realm. Do not look for a music video. Do not look for a Billboard entry. Do not look for a genius annotation. It will not exist because the industry has already decided it will not exist. And let's actually talk about what Claressa Shields raps on the snippet, because the lyrics tell you everything. Claressa Shields opens with a line about not being a killer, but a warning not to push her. Then she calls Alycia Baumgardner a certain 3-digit number that anyone raised in a certain corner of the internet immediately understands as a slur, meaning she sells her body. Then she accuses Alycia Baumgardner of hiding behind lawyers. Then she brags about selling tickets. Then she claims Alycia Baumgardner is a 130-pound bully. And this is the part that makes the whole song collapse under its own weight. Because Claressa Shields, the woman being accused publicly, in receipts, in leaked screenshots, by her rapper boyfriend's own wife, of being the side chick, the mistress, the entanglement in someone else's marriage, is the last person on earth qualified to call anyone else that word. You don't get to sit in that seat and throw that stone. It doesn't work. The math will never math. And the internet is going to eat her alive for it. In real time. Screenshots already trending. Reaction videos already stacking. Twitter threads already going viral before Claressa Shields has finished breakfast. Now here's where the story gets even messier, because Claressa Shields didn't just record this song. Claressa Shields designed the cover art like a 9-year-old with access to Barbie templates. On the cover, Claressa Shields poses like a doll herself, pretty in pink, glossy, plastic. And next to Claressa Shields she placed a second Barbie doll, meant to represent Alycia Baumgardner, on its knees, tears streaming down its face, touching Claressa Shields' shoes. That is the cover. That is what a woman with millions of dollars, an Olympic gold medal, and a supposed empire chose to release into the world at a moment when her professional reputation was in intensive care. There is no crisis manager on earth who signed off on this. There is no PR team behind this. This is one woman, one phone, one bad decision, and a producer named Sean Miles who should have taken the flash drive and hidden it in a safe until the news cycle blew over. But instead the flash drive got posted. And the entire industry gasped. Look, I want to be fair here. Claressa Shields is one of the most decorated boxers of her generation. Nobody is disputing that. 2 Olympic gold medals, undisputed champion in 3 weight classes, a genuine talent inside the ring. That is not being erased today. But talent is not a shield. Talent does not immunize you from your own choices. And every choice Claressa Shields has made in the last 12 months has been the wrong one. Signing with the wrong network. Chasing the wrong money. Standing next to the wrong man. Attacking the wrong woman at the wrong event in front of the wrong cameras. And now, recording the wrong song at the worst possible moment. Every miss teaches the next hit, but Claressa Shields is not learning. Claressa Shields is repeating. And every repetition compounds the damage. The receipts do not evaporate. The clips do not disappear. They pile up in a hard drive somewhere and wait to be reshared the next time someone Googles her name. And here is where I need you to pay attention, because this is the part nobody is talking about. Claressa Shields is not just losing the public relations war. Claressa Shields is losing the future. Alycia Baumgardner right now, at this exact hour, is sitting in the room with the people who make careers. Alycia Baumgardner is meeting with the same MVP team that turned Amanda Serrano into a global brand. Alycia Baumgardner has the co-sign of Laila Ali, the actual daughter of the actual greatest of all time, and Amanda Serrano herself. Alycia Baumgardner is being positioned as the face of women's boxing for the next decade. And every single thing Claressa Shields does, every diss track, every crash out live, every Instagram tantrum, makes that positioning easier for MVP to sell. Because the contrast writes itself. On one side you have a disciplined professional signing with a real promotion. On the other side you have a woman recording bootleg raps in a home studio because no label will touch her. That contrast is worth tens of millions of dollars to Alycia Baumgardner. Claressa Shields is unknowingly filming Alycia Baumgardner's promo reel for free. She is the villain in someone else's Netflix documentary and she does not even know the cameras are already rolling. Here's the flip side of this whole story that Claressa Shields does not want you to sit with. Claressa Shields keeps talking about hate campaigns being run against her. Claressa Shields keeps saying she's the victim. But if you actually pull the receipts, and the internet has pulled every single one of them, every attack in this feud originated from Claressa Shields. Every subliminal. Every comment. Every live stream. Every leaked screenshot. Every song. Every slap. Every single one traces back to Claressa Shields' own hands. And that is not a hate campaign against her. That is the definition of a hate campaign she is running against Alycia Baumgardner. And the moment Alycia Baumgardner's legal team files, the moment a defamation suit lands on Claressa Shields' doorstep, every tweet, every post, every song, every live, every subliminal will become Exhibit A, B, C, D, and E. The receipts are permanent. The internet does not forget. And Claressa Shields is currently supplying evidence like she gets paid per document. Every post is a subpoena waiting to happen. Every lyric is a deposition line waiting to be read back to her. Now I need to say something about Papoose too, because you cannot understand this saga without understanding him. Papoose is the shadow behind every one of Claressa Shields' worst decisions. Papoose is the one hyping up the producer. Papoose is the one selling her on the fast money deals. Papoose is the one whispering that MVP was going to lowball her. Papoose is the one benefiting from every dollar that flows into Claressa Shields' account while his marriage sits in the background collecting dust. And the entire boxing world can see it. Everyone can see it. Everyone except Claressa Shields herself, apparently, because she keeps handing him the microphone. There is going to come a moment, and it is not far away, when the money runs out, the sponsors ghost, the fights disappear, and Claressa Shields looks around the empty room and realizes every person who told her they had her back was eating off her plate. And by then, the plate will be empty. And the person she thought was her king will have already moved on to the next fighter, the next name, the next paycheck he can attach himself to. And here's the part, fam, that really tells you where this thing is going. Even Claressa Shields' own fans are turning. Scroll her Instagram right now, before she deletes the comments, because she does that too, and you'll see it. Sis, you are better than this. Focus on training. Delete this. This is not the move. You're embarrassing yourself. The people who used to defend her, the ones who used to argue in her comments and swing on anybody who criticized her, they are quietly stepping back. Because there is no defense left. There is no angle to spin. There is no version of Claressa Shields recorded a bootleg diss track about a professional rival while begging Instagram for a sponsor for her next fight that reads as anything other than a full-blown career meltdown. And when your own base can't defend you anymore, the algorithm can't save you either. The engagement drops. The reach shrinks. The invitations stop. It is a slow-motion cliff, and Claressa Shields is walking off it in real time with her eyes wide open. Meanwhile, and this is the part that stings the most, Alycia Baumgardner has not said one word about the diss track. Not one. Alycia Baumgardner is in the gym. Alycia Baumgardner is training. Alycia Baumgardner is filming content with MVP Promotions. Alycia Baumgardner is smiling in every recent photo like she knows something the rest of us don't. And she does. Because Alycia Baumgardner understands the oldest rule in the fight game. When your opponent is drowning, don't throw them a rope, throw them an anchor. Silence is the anchor. Every day Alycia Baumgardner stays quiet, Claressa Shields fills the vacuum with more damage. Every day Alycia Baumgardner posts a training clip, Claressa Shields posts a subliminal that ages worse. Every day Alycia Baumgardner secures another opportunity, Claressa Shields loses one. The war is already over. Claressa Shields just hasn't been told. Or maybe she has been told, by every person around her worth listening to, and she simply refuses to hear it. Which, honestly, would explain a lot. Here's where the deeper issue reveals itself, and I want you to think about this carefully. Because this is not just about Claressa Shields versus Alycia Baumgardner anymore. This is about what kind of face women's boxing wants to present to the world. For years, Claressa Shields told us she was carrying the entire sport on her back. For years, Claressa Shields told us she was the reason women's boxing was being taken seriously. And for a moment, that was even true. But the sport has outgrown her. The sport is now Amanda Serrano headlining Netflix cards in front of 70,000 fans. The sport is now Alycia Baumgardner signing with the biggest promotion of the modern era. The sport is now young girls all over the world seeing that they can be world champions without being wrapped up in scandal. Claressa Shields could have led that movement. Instead, she chose to record a diss track about the woman who is leading it. And history will not be kind about that choice. History rarely is. And that's the tragedy in all of this. That is what makes this story hit different. Because Claressa Shields is not a villain in some cartoon sense. Claressa Shields is a real woman with real talent and a real backstory who is watching her own legacy get shredded in real time by her own hands. Every time she opens Instagram, she is deleting a chapter of her own history. Every time she records another bootleg song, she is bleeding another opportunity. Every time she stands next to Papoose, she is renting out her name to a man who will hand it back damaged. And the saddest part is that everyone in the industry can see it. Nakisa Bidarian can see it. Jake Paul can see it. Amanda Serrano can see it. Layla Ali can see it. Alycia Baumgardner can see it. Every promoter who might have offered a paycheck can see it. Every brand that might have signed her can see it. Every fighter looking for a name-value opponent can see it. The only person in the room who cannot see it is Claressa Shields. And that is the deepest cut of the whole story. So what happens next? Here's the projection. Alycia Baumgardner's legal team will move. Quietly, professionally, and with receipts. Every social media post from the last 18 months will be compiled. Every tweet, every comment, every song lyric, every crash out live. And when the paperwork lands, Claressa Shields will not be able to laugh it off. Because at that point, the very Instagram platform she uses to stunt on Alycia Baumgardner will become the evidence room. And whatever sponsor was going to touch her, and let's be honest, there weren't many, will disappear. K-Sweat is on her Instagram story right now, publicly begging for a sponsor for her next fight. That is not a rumor. That is a screenshot the entire internet has. You cannot beg for a sponsor and record a diss track in the same news cycle and expect to survive. The market does not reward that behavior. The market punishes it. Ruthlessly. And with a receipt. And then there's the fight itself, the one against Cecilia Brækhus at whatever weight class Claressa Shields is supposed to be making. That fight is happening while all of this drama is happening. Which means Claressa Shields is currently trying to cut weight, run camp, drop a diss track, defend her personal life, moderate her comment section, and monitor Alycia Baumgardner's every move, all at the same time. Nobody focused on that many fronts wins on any of them. And the one that matters most, the one inside the ropes, is the one that will suffer. Ask any old school trainer what happens when a fighter's phone becomes bigger than her camp. They will tell you, you lose. Every time. Without exception. And a loss right now, in the middle of this circus, would not just be a loss. It would be a burial. Let me also break down something that Claressa Shields fans are missing entirely. This is not the first time Claressa Shields has tried the music pivot. Claressa Shields has been chasing the rap dream for years, hoping to build a second brand outside boxing the same way Amanda Serrano has slowly built a documentary and lifestyle brand. But the difference is that Amanda Serrano let her boxing do the marketing. Amanda Serrano did not lead with beef. Amanda Serrano did not lead with subliminals. Amanda Serrano did not lead with a plastic cover art of a rival on her knees. Amanda Serrano led with performance. And that is why Amanda Serrano is packing arenas while Claressa Shields is packing screenshots into a lawsuit that has not even been filed yet. Two paths. Two brands. Two futures. And every fighter in the game is watching which strategy pays off. Here's the harshest truth I can offer you today, and I want to leave you with it. Claressa Shields could still fix this. She really could. Delete the diss track. Log off social media. Cut ties with the wrong people. Focus on the sport. Apologize where an apology is required. Rebuild the brand from the ground up. It has been done before. It can be done again. But Claressa Shields will not do it. She will not do it because pride does not permit it and Papoose will not allow it. And so we are going to sit here and watch the slow, painful, well-documented public dismantling of one of the most talented fighters of her generation. And somewhere in a gym, quiet as a whisper, Alycia Baumgardner is putting in another round on the heavy bag, knowing that the biggest opponent in her career is doing all the damage to herself. No cornerman needed. No counterpunch necessary. Just patience. That's the whole plate for today, family. Drop your honest take under this video. Do you think Claressa Shields can still recover this? Do you think Alycia Baumgardner should actually go through with the lawsuit? Do you think Papoose is the real villain in this story, or is Claressa Shields fully accountable? I want to read every single one of those comments. Hit that subscribe if you're new around here, tap that bell so you don't miss the next update on this story, because trust me, this is not over. Not even close. The lawsuit is coming, the fight is coming, and the next chapter of this saga is going to be even louder than the last. Stay locked in. I'll catch you in the next one.